Hello, everyone. Welcome to Style Esports Season 6. The playoffs are now underway and have been going for a little bit now. We are in Bracket 8, Round 2. We are here with Merciless, Esports, Yaksha, and the University of Alberta Gold. MEY is on the blue side, and UAG is on the red. My name is Shinkari, and I'm going to be your caster for this evening. And we have a pretty good matchup for you all tonight. We have the 4th seed, which is Merciless Esports Yaksha versus the University of Alberta Gold, which is the 1st seed of this bracket 8, as I've already kind of mentioned a couple times. But going into this match, it's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, University of Alberta Gold had a pretty easy round 1. You know, being the 1st seed in a tournament means you go up against the last seed. So they were able to stop their win 2-0. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Merciless Esports Yaksha had a little bit of a harder time. They played against TDMS a few days ago, but it was pretty much a flip-floppy game. They whenever one side would win, it would be a very, very convincing win. But MEY was able to come out on top, but they're going to have to be a little bit more consistent in order to come out on top over the University of Alberta Gold. So far across the board, we have some bans: Pantheon, Jax, Akali, Caitlyn, Hecarim, and Zed. Zed is the ban for 420XX Sniper Lol, who goes by a different name, but is playing on an alternate account. But he has a very, very storied history on Zed, going all the way back to Season 8, 142 games, 60% win rate there, 211 games, a 54% win rate in Season 9, 244, 57% win rate in Season 10, and 79 games this season with 56% win rate. So obviously, don't want to have that on the board. Hecarim being banned away, and Caitlyn is another targeted ban towards Debay, but with him also having this a very storied history on Caitlyn as well. But putting him on the Tristana, pretty good idea here. Very similar champions. They're pretty good early. They dip a little bit in the mid game, but once they're able to get ahead, they do very, very well. They're also pretty good at zoning and escaping as well. So two very similar champions, I'd say. So I trust Debay on this Tristana here. Also a very powerful pick. Jinx being picked up for UAG. That's going over to Mini Bjergsen, who I have to throw out there that is a as the self-appointed unofficial flavor judge of Style Esports, I have to say that's a flavor loss. I think that if you're going to be Mini Bjergsen, you should be playing the mid lane, but you know, that's just me. Seraphine being picked up now for Beth the Panda, which is a pretty good pickup for them. They favor enchanters a lot. They have a lot of history on Yuumi, on Seraphine this season, Nami as well. So very, very good pickup for them as well. Very strong champion indeed. I mean, as well. I mean, Seraphine did receive a little bit of a nerfs in terms of the duo lane in the previous patch, not this most recent one. So it should be a little bit harder for her to lane. So it should be punishable by this Nautilus here. Very good pickup. But once again, you're not picking Seraphine to win lane. You're picking Seraphine to win that mid game and then forward. So should be looking for that as well. Dr. Mundo being picked up for MEY here. A very strong pick. And Kane being the final lock-in for University of Alberta Gold, which actually is, I believe, a pickup for their jungler. I might have to double check, but their jungler is someone who does play a decent chunk of Kane. So it should be an interesting game with a lot of these comfort picks coming out here. And Quinn being banned away for Naruto Uzumaki. And we did see a bit of the Quinn run rampant in Merciless Esports Yaksha's games. I believe the Quinn was a very, very good pick into a Vayne top lane, was able to counter it very, very well. And you know, Naruto Uzumaki, this Quinn, once someone's good at Quinn, it's like a really interesting champion because she can take multiple combat summoners and not really be punished for it, because she has that ultimate that allows her to be around the map very, very quickly. And there are also some new items that also give her that much more movement speed around the map, which means she can zoom around very easily, doesn't exactly need teleport. Vigar, Renekton, and Poppy being the final bans here. A lot more targeted bans. Renekton, we haven't really been seeing a whole lot in the top lane as of late, but when you get into games of players who are high silver and mid gold on average, usually comfort is king. You know, there's a lot of champions that are very good, but some people just don't have a whole lot of practice on, and then they just default to the picks that are their comforts here. So this is obviously Kennen. We see a little bit more in the top lane, maybe mid lane for AFK Shadow here, but definitely an interesting pickup. A very, very good team fighting champion. Very, very strong. Has great teleports. And really good with a lot of these new items here. Azir being locked in as possibly a counterpick to the Kennen here, but also another very strong team fighting champion. Oh, excuse me. That's a Volibear. That's not an Azir. That is a Volibear. Just so everyone is aware, that is a Volibear. That is not an Azir LeBlanc. Now being locked in finally as MEY picks up the last pick here. And this is actually looking to be like a really, really good team. And it's going to be a great team fighting comp so far. UAGs now has their last pick here, and it's going to be Shen as the final pick. So really, really strong team. I guess that Kennen is going mid, that Shen is going top lane. And UAG has a very, very strong across the map kind of global team comp here. They got Shen, they have Kennen, possibly double teleports, Seraphine and Jinx. Jinx has a very global ultimate as well, be able to apply pressure to multiple different lanes with them once she gets level 6, of course, and still dodge around the skill shot, but still something to keep in mind when you think you are safe after a trade and you are very low HP. And you know, I'm a big fan of this. I think UAG has drafted a very, very strong 5v5 team comp here. They have Kennen, they have Seraphine for multiple target AOCC. They have Shen for protecting the Jinx in the backline. They have Kayn to do that as well. MEY, I think the same thing as well. This whole draft both drafts seem to be based around the bottom lane here. A lot of things to stand in between UAG and this Tristana here. They got Nautilus, they got Dr. Mundo, they have Volibear. And it's also, both of these teams have pretty good go buttons as well. I would say that MEY is a little bit more proactive, whereas UAG is probably a little bit more reactive. Obviously, Seraphine's ultimate is very strong, but wants to be used in specific situations, and choke points, and in reactions to engagements. You don't want to use it as the initial initiation. You want to be using something like Kennen instead. But I definitely like this team comp that they've put together so far. I think both these team comps are very good. I think I'm mostly going to be giving it over to University of Alberta Gold here. I think I like their team comp a little bit more. Very easy to execute, and since it is very reactive and they have this double teleport kind of global strategy going on here, I think it's going to be a very good team comp put together here. They might have a bit of an issue because Quinn was locked in by Usopp here. They might need to yeah, there we go. Okay, yep, they're gonna remake that lobby real quick as they messed. just a little hiccup here, folks. Nothing we can't come back from. Nothing we can't come back from and fix everything so far. But on the other side, MEY, I'm really liking the Volibear pickup. I have to double check my patch notes, but I do believe that Volibear did get some changes in the most recent patch notes. I have to pull them up because your boy skimmed through them like a couple times and then didn't retain any of it. I remember who got buffed and nerfed. Ah, yeah, there we go. All right, so Sky Splitter is going to have its damage capped to 750 at all ranks, which is insane. Sky Splitter, his E, the lightning bolt that gives him the little bit of shield, has already been a pretty crazy harass tool in lane for Volibear. Folks have been utilizing that tech so much that they are going into Doran's ring early so that they can so that they can get that early harassment damage there. Very, very strong pickup. I'm really excited to see that played out. Not a whole lot of other very changed champions being picked up here. Obviously, Graves not being picked up after healing items have been nerfed. But we are just going to get back into picks and bans really, really quickly here, folks. Don't go anywhere just yet. We're still ready to go here, and we're still just chugging along. it's a pretty interesting patch as well. I'm really excited to see like a lot of these changes here. Obviously, Smite is getting a bigger heal here to make some of these junglers just survive a little bit longer, which is really great for characters like Mundo, who got picked up, who is going to need that healing inside the jungle, since all of this stuff costs HP. Also, the changes to teleport means that this team that Alberta Gold has drafted might be just a little bit better. You know, they get that bonus movement speed, and the cooldown has been changed. You know, it's going to cost less at higher levels, so that's going to be really, really interesting to watch for sure. Yeah, I'm excited to. I'm also excited to watch Volibear. I mean, I think it's always fun to just watch Volibear turret dives. I think that's the best thing to come out of this whole thing. Like, Volibear turret dives are like the best thing to watch because his ultimate is just such a cinematic, such a viscerally cool ability to watch. Just this massive bear just jumps into the air, slams his fists onto the ground, turns a turret off. I mean, you can't get much cooler than that. I mean, it is really, really cool. I'm also excited to see this LeBlanc as well. 420XX Sniper Lol. He's been on Assassins before. He has a very storied history, like we said, on Zed. So putting him on a champion similar to Zed, a very high mobility, high burst champion, kind of tricky as well, like the LeBlanc, means that you can evade a lot of things very easily and get in, get out. I actually had a debate with one of my friends when I was playing an ARAM about which character was like the least committal champion in League of Legends. Because I was playing Ziggs, and I was like, hey, Ziggs is definitely the least committal champion in League of Legends. He doesn't have to commit to anything, and he does too much damage. And immediately he was like, no, 100% it's LeBlanc. I was like, no way LeBlanc is less committal than Ziggs is. There's no way. Once again, excited to see LeBlanc, excited to see Tristana. This is a very slippery team comp that MEY has drafted here, so it should be a real great watch. I think our eyes should be on the bottom lane this game. It seems like both teams are looking to win through their bottom lane, both drafting some AD carries that want to scale. Tristana hitting her spike just a little bit earlier than Jinx will, but Jinx definitely dealing more damage towards the end. But Tristana, another character that's kind of hard to lock down. We have these team comps finally locked in, ready to go. We have no more hiccups. These are the teams, folks. Volibear, Dr. Mundo, LeBlanc, Tristana, Nautilus versus Shen, Kayn, Kennen, Jinx, and Seraphine. It will be interesting to see both of these comps go up against each other. But we are going to take just a quick break as we load into Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Style Esports right after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 6 playoffs. We are in Bracket 8, Round 2. Merciless Esports Yaksha, Seed 4 on the blue. University of Alberta Gold, Seed number 1 on the red side. And it looks like we already have a level 1 engage here. They are going in. There's going to be the hook, and Kane is going to immediately flash away. They were able to grab a summoner spell here, not placing any wards in the red team's jungle. They know where everyone's at. Looks like they're just going to back away and go to their regular starts across the board here. Volibear looks like he's going to be helping out Mundo at the blue buff. That's where they're going to go early on here. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far across the board. I do see a Conqueror on Jinx and a Guardian on Seraphine, and that's a little bit weird to me. Typically, you'll see folks want to go into either Airy. Go into Airy, rather, for Seraphine, or even Arcane Comet, just to get a few of the things from the sorcery board. But it looks like Beth the Panda might be valuing just the Guardian Shield a little bit more, and Revitalize is also another one of those runes that's very important for that side there. We also have a Fleet Footwork for Mundo here, which is interesting. And oh, wow. Okay, we have a level 1 engagement here from Nautilus. Is going to go in, but that's Guardian Shield is already proving to be very, very useful early on. So I think that's just going to be the rest of the lane in the bot lane so far. Soren already proving to be exactly what you want to be doing against a Jinx and a Seraphine, two characters that don't have the greatest of laning phases. You want to pressure them as much as possible, and Stana definitely has, especially with Hail of Blades, a much better laning phase than Jinx here. And on the top lane, this is going to be a lot of what... Oh, man, we're already seeing the buff damage to the E here, and Shen, even though he was able to get a good trade, took a lot of damage in return. AFK Shadow also returning a bit of damage in the mid lane here, and this is actually a pretty interesting. These are just a bunch of very violent lanes, I'll say, across the map here. Obviously, the blue team wanting to be a little bit more aggressive. I think they've hit scaling points just a little bit sooner than the red team here, so they definitely want this game to go a little bit shorter, especially when you're up against a Jinx. But the other team is based around. The longer this game goes on, the more valuable the Seraphine CC becomes, and the more powerful this Jinx becomes as well. So want to slow this game down a lot. The University of Alberta Gold want to. And the Esports Yaksha, although they are somewhat of a scaling comp themselves, they definitely want this game to go kind of slower. See Spooky coming in from the side here. This might be the first jungle gank of the game. He's level 4. Here comes the flash. There's the hook. There's the snare as well. They found Mini Bjergsen. He's taken incredibly low. That's going to be first blood going over to Tristana. She's now hovering over the wall. They're looking for the kill onto Seraphine. She's taken so much damage, but Soren is going to tank up 2 towered shots and say, maybe we're going in a little too deep. Let's pull away. We got the first blood. We don't need anything else. Man, that was a really good first gank. Very clean, nothing too theatrical there. I mean, Bjergsen could have gotten away if he had spent Flash. Maybe. Obviously, all summoner spells are still available for University of Alberta Gold, even though they gave up First Blood. So, not a total loss here, but Sniper Law taking a huge amount of damage as he's stunned up underneath turret, and AFK Shadow is going to be able to pick up a kill for himself in the mid lane. Very well played by the Kennen there. I mean, that's exactly what you want to be doing. Kennen has to be playing reactive in this lane if he wants to land those stuns and get the good trades off, especially since LeBlanc, her main form of harassment is just dashing in and then immediately getting out. Dashing and then immediately teleporting back, should I say. So being able to punish that with the Kennen W, and then being able to return it with a Q and an E, or maybe an empowered auto, means that you can get a whole lot of burst damage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, that mean Nusop might be looking for something here on the Naruto Uzumaki. He's taken very low. He has already used his shield. Usopp is coming in from the side. He's going to stun up Kane here. And he's just going to back away. Naruto Uzumaki. Turns out Naruto versus One Piece, Naruto gets out okay. So, shoutouts to Naruto, you know? Boruto's dad's doing a great job. Way to go, Boruto's dad. Proud of you, buddy. I wonder if they'll ever make a show about Boruto's dad. That'd be a fun thing to watch. Boruto's dad seems to have a lot of history with a lot of the other parents in Boruto, so maybe it'd be cool to like watch that backstory. I think that'd be fun to watch. Well, everything seemed to slow down just a little bit as blue team sneaks the dragon on the bottom side here. Very, very good pickup. Cloud is the next Drake, which means it's either Mountain or Infernal Soul for these teams here, which is actually really, really great for both teams here. Both of these are scaling Drakes. Both those souls are scaling Drakes. They want you to have a lot of stats going into them, and the more stats you have, the more beneficial those abilities are. And once you are ahead and scaled up, a lot of those things make it hard for the enemy team to close out or to fight back against you. So it should be a tool for both teams to close out the game. Sure. Look across the board. No, oh, wow. Sniper Law taking a little bit too much damage here. That's going to be AFK Shadow popping his ultimate, forcing the flash here, but he's still super close. The Q is not going to land, but he's real close. The auto attack was canceled, which is actually really big here. Spooky's coming in from the side. AFK Shadow might be getting a little bit too greedy here, and now he has to deal with the Mundo. The Cleaver doesn't land and flashes forward. That's going to be the punish. That's going to be the kill for Spooky. 1-on-1-3. And AFK Shadow is going to go down after chasing just a little too far. Usopp is also coming in from the side, from the bottom lane here. Is going to land the Q, going to deal some damage. The slow is good, but now here comes the turnaround. Nautilus is going to land the snare, but the chompers are going to snare him up instead. Usopp is going to get the turret shot, but he's going to immediately get the stand united. There comes the Jinx out from the side. Usopp is very low. No ultimate, no summoners were used. Actually, there was a flash spent and an exhaust spent and a teleport spent in the bottom lane here. So very well communicated for the defensive after Usopp dived a little too deep, but looks like Fat Meat might be paying the price on the top lane. Here comes the electricity from that E from Volley Bear, so a little bit of damage onto him. I wonder if Shen is going to itemize around the Volley Bear and just try to build just like a null magic mantle or something just to survive a little bit of this early game harass from Volley Bear's E, since it is 750 damage on base, which is insanely high. I'd have to double check. I think that number might be different. That seems way too high, but it's still just a decent chunk of damage you can deal early on, and you know it's something you really have to pay attention to. And that shield power as well is also very important. That is why a lot of Volley Bears have been building Doran's Ring, as I've said already. Looks like the focus for Alberta is now going to be that Rift Herald on the top side. That is going to be a very important tool for unlocking some of these champions that want to roam around. Shen and Kennen both want to be roaming around these lanes, and by unlocking them, by taking away their outer turret, they will be able to go to these other lanes, and especially to bot lane, and be able to excel Jinx a lot faster than she normally would. So this is a very important pickup for the red team here, and it looks like it's going over pretty free as well. Mundo's on the bot side. LeBlanc hasn't answered any of the roams, and it doesn't seem like there are any pings coming out from the blue side to see where the red team is. So it looks like they're just going to be picking up their things and moving away here. Bomby cinders across the board, so it should be interesting to see what mythic items folks are going for here. Obviously, Kane might be looking for that immortal shield bow, maybe even a gore drinker. Should be interesting to see. A lot of healing items have been nerfed in this previous patch, and gore drinker has been nerfed in the past. But we'll see. I mean, it's also important to see. Ooh, Soren going in here, going to be rooted up in response. There's going to be the stun in from Seraphine as well, but Beth the Pano's already taken a huge amount of burst damage here. Kennen is coming in from the side. AFK Shadow was looking for something here. He's going to dash in, hasn't landed anything here. That's going to be the Buster Shot knocking him away, and that might be Kennen walking away. They just grabbed an ultimate away from Tristana, which is pretty big. There's just going to be more scuffles in the top lane as Cloud Drake is spawning in about 40 seconds. It looks like this early priority for Vision might be in favor of the University of Alberta Gold here. Very, very important. Stop clearing out some wards here. It's very important for University of Alberta Gold that while they have this advantage in the bot lane, that they go around and clear wards and try to get rid of the vision that Merciless Esports Yaksha have put for themselves. I mean, being able to sneak away Baron and forcing them to base check into you could be pretty big. That's going to be the ultimate from Seraphine, who's going to charm up both of them, but Soren is going to pre-cast that hook. Bet the Panda is now the target for the Stand United, and that super mega death rocket is going to come in and kill the Tristana, and that's going to be a 2 for 0 in the bot lane, and all it cost was 3 ultimates, and a flash. Never mind. Flash and a heal, and an exhaust. A lot of things were spent, but 2 kills. They're going to pick up the dragon for themselves as well to get bot priority, deny a bunch of experience and gold. That's a really, really great return on the resources that University of Alberta Gold spent. But now it is, in fact, a Mountain Soul. So that's going to be a big, big damage shield for whoever goes and picks it up. FK Shadow just in a little bit of a bad spot here between a jungler and a mid laner here. So he's just trying to stay as safe as he can be. Debay and Soren are going to pick up on the bot lane. Going to pick up a bit of turret plates in the bot lane, rather. He's going to back away. AFK Spooky still hanging around this mid lane here. Spending a lot of time there. Certainly interesting to say the least. I guess it's just Mundo just saying, like, hey, I can go and take your jungle camps and still hang around your mid lane. Especially with Kennen pushed in so far. It's really hard for Kennen to farm underneath turret. So it's going to be a lot of pressure here. AFK Shadow coming up from the side. That's going to be the taunt on the Spooky 1013 here. Naruto Uzumaki coming in from the side. He's not being able to find any damage yet. He's going to get the stun onto Shen, but here comes the big turnaround. That Tempest is used. Naruto Uzumaki is taken very, very low here. He's going to use his ultimate to dash over the wall here. They're slowed, but here comes AFK Shadow over the wall. He's going to flash as well. He's going to throw out a Q. It's not going to be enough. Both of them are going to get away, but it cost so much. AFK Shadow not picking up a kill for himself, but looks like LeBlanc is just resetting here, and that's going to be multiple members just getting away pretty safe here. Both teams are going to back away and reset. On the bot lane, that's going to be the depth charge right on top of onto Jinx here. She's going to take a huge amount of damage right early on. Beth the Panda going to back away as well. Just kind of forced to just, yeah, this is about how this lane is going to be going. Soren just playing the Nautilus very, very well, putting as much pressure as he can onto this Jinx and onto this Seraphine. And Seraphine might have walked up a little too quickly here. That's going to be a huge amount of chunk damage onto Seraphine here. She might be forced to back away. Wow, Spooky once again showing up into this mid lane. Really, really wanted to camp for 420 Sniper here. Excuse me. Really want to get him online, it seems. Minnie Bjergsen playing a little bit far forward. Usopp is here to answer, but Soren is going to immediately punish. That's a huge chunk of damage coming down from Debay already early on. Soren is going to be taken really low. Usopp is looking for the kill on the hero now, but Soren is going to try to get a return kill. Not going to be enough. AFK Shadow is down here as well. Spooky is here as well. He's just following AFK Shadow all around the map, but that's going to be a clean kill in the bot lane, and a little bit of pressure onto that mid lane turret is going to be the punish for the blue side here. So it's about as good as you can get, especially after the jungler and the mid lane go into the bot lane. So being late to the roam doesn't exactly mean that you are completely out of the thing, but we do have some mythic items finally completed here. We have the Kraken Slayer for the Jinx, pretty standard, and we also have the Proto Belt for Kennen, also very standard. You know, when you are a positional based champion, getting that little bit of extra oomph after you press your ultimate, especially with Slicing Maelstrom, is very, very important. It's like, ooh, you do actually have a bit of counter juggling coming in from Volibear here, which is really, really good. What's really important when you're playing against Kayn is to deny as much as you can to slow down his transformation. The slower his transformation means that the less powerful he's going to be for a little bit longer. Slowing down the rate at which Kayn goes means that he's not going to be as tanky as he would normally. Oh, AFK Shadow looking for something here, but he's going to be snared up. He pressed his ultimate. It looks like he's not going to get anything out of that, but that's an important resource to note. That's a very long cooldown on Slicing Maelstrom. That is about a minute and a half, a little bit more than that. So that's going to be an important resource, especially since Mountain Drake is coming up in 50 seconds. That ultimate is not going to be ready in time. 420 Sniper diving underneath the turret here. Going to pop Ignite as well. AFK Shadow is not going to stay alive. That's going to be LeBlanc picking up a kill for herself. Lead the first kill for herself this game. and going to kind of solidify their lead in this mid lane here, as the blue team takes that opportunity to immediately go over to the Rift Herald. Up just trying to recoup his losses here. He's been counter jungled a lot this game. Mundo has wandered into his jungle, and we even saw Volibear wander into his jungle as well. They hitting the red plant from over the wall needs to deny any sort of cheeky kind of ganks from any member from the red side here. A little bit, not 100% necessary, but still something that can be beneficial to your team. Looks like both teams are now playing towards this bottom side here. The dragon is now being tanked up by the Mundo here. He's picked up the first turret, and now both teams are now on top of this dragon here. They're both letting it reset over and over. Usopp looking for Debay here. Might have pulled just a little bit too far here, but Fat Meat on the top side has to deal with Shelly as Volibear comes in for the teleport here. Shen still has Stand United. Volibear is looking for something here. He might have found Usopp, and that's going to be the stun as well. That's huge amount of AoE damage coming down from 420 Sniper Law. That's going to be a follow-up great by Volibear as well. The Slicing Maelstrom finally comes off cooldown, but it's too little, too late. A 4 for 0 in favor of Esports Yaksha. Merciless Esports Yaksha here as they're picking up the first Mountain Drake of the game. That's going to be 2 Drakes to 1 as they start to gain just a little bit more resistances going into as the mid game continues. And a bit of a blunder here from Alberta Gold here. Just a little too early to the party. Not really ready for what Esports Yaksha was going to do. And then on top of that, they lost a tower in the top lane and took a decent chunk of damage onto that turret, onto that tier 2 turret as well. I feel like Fat Meat probably should have just pulled the trigger just a little bit earlier on his teleport to make sure that Alberta was the one pressing the go button. It was really hard for him to go in and fight the Shelly and the Volibear in that top lane there. So maybe that was the play there, but who knows, you know. Oh, Soren might be caught out here. Usopp coming in. He has finally gotten the transformation, and he might be looking for more. Okay, Soren's going to be knocked into the air. Now Usopp is trying to get more, but here comes the Ignite down from Soren, and Spooky is coming in from the side. The hook is going to land onto a wall. I'm going to pull him away. The rest of the team close by, but not really able to follow up, so Kane is just going to be pulled away. As now Rost has taken over. This is a red Kane. Usopp looking for a little bit more here, but doesn't look like he wants to dive underneath turret for a Nautilus here, and he's just going to back away. Mythic items are now being completed across the board. Kraken Slayer for the Tristana, a very powerful item for herself. Ooh, AFK Shadow taking a bit of damage here. That's definitely help from the Luden's Echo, which I was just about to mention. The, excuse me, not a Luden's Echo anymore. It's a Luden's Tempest. Luden's Tempest for LeBlanc, a Sunfire Aegis for Dr. Mundo, and a Turbo Chem Tank for Volibear. And it looks like what it might be a Locket for the Nautilus, and perhaps a Moonstone Renewer for the Seraphine, as the supports to continue to work off of welfare. Always make sure always check in on your supports. They're running on very low gold here, folks. They don't get to play with the cool toys until much later into the game, and it's kind of upsetting. This message brought to you by your local caster who's also a support player. Fat Meat might be caught out here. Naruto Uzumaki looking for the fight here. He's already dealt so much damage. Fat Meat also, and here comes Rusoren over the edge here. If he's going to use the ultimate to dive on top, that's going to be the depth charge as well. Fat Meat is taken incredibly low, but the rest of the red team is trying to follow up, but they are too little, too late. A little late to the party, and that's going to be a easy pickup for the blue team here. Fat Meat just advancing just a little bit too far in this top lane, and I wonder how much of it is due to just the lack of vision that University of Alberta Gold has in their own jungle. There's not a whole lot of defensive warding on their side, even though they've lost all of their outer turrets, and that's definitely something they need to fix. This Sniper Law might have caught up Pet the Panda, as the rest of the team follows up, is able to find an easy kill as well. Naruto Uzumaki is also fighting Usopp, but it's a level 9 versus level 13. That's going to be the ultimate coming down from Usopp, trying to heal himself back up. But here comes Spooky in for the side, and he's also 3 levels higher than this Kane here. That's the result of all this counter jungling, folks. And now he's forced to back away, as he's only a higher level than the support for Merciless Esports Yaksha, as this team continues to barrel through University of Alberta goal here. The Buster shot is going to knock away IFK Shadow as Fat Meat is looking for the initiation. He's going to be able to find the stun, and the slicing Maelstrom is coming through. They're only going to be able to find the stun onto LeBlanc as she dashes away, but Jinx is going to be able to find the kill on the Volley Baron. That's a 1-for-0 now. AFK Shadow looking for a little bit more, but not being able to find it. They're going to back away. The Super Mega Death Rocket is coming across, but that's not going to be able to find him. LeBlanc is still trying to run from Usopp and Fat Meat here. Usopp is still looking for more, going to break the chains, but they're going to back away here as they continue to press down this mid turret. 1-for-0 in the mid lane. And this might be University of Alberta gold just breathing a little bit more breaths of life into this game, but they are 7,000 gold down on their lane opponents, and their lack of vision in their own jungle is definitely going to be a little bit of trouble for themselves here, especially for Fat Meat in the top lane, who doesn't even know that Sniper Lol is here. That's going to be the root. Let's see if Sniper Lol falls up. That's a huge amount of damage to the Ignite as well. That's going to be Sniper Lol finding the kill onto Shen in the top lane. That's going to be a very, very easy pickup for Sniper Lol here. Death timer is a little short. Shen should respawn about the same time that the Mountain Drake comes back up. The rest of the red team is here. Okay, they found a snare. They found a stun onto Soren here. That's going to be the knock up into the air as well. They're still looking for something. There's going to be the Kayn ultimate, but not enough in order to take down the Nautilus. It's going to be a decent chunk of damage from the Tristana here. Now it might be a 4v4 in this river here. There is a lot of vision from MEY here. They should be able to see this happening, and Sniper's just going to jump over the wall and just immediately delete the Seraphine here. And then the rest of the team is just forced to retreat. Shen has respawned, but it is going to take him a little while in order to get down here, but they might just seed the dragon. Super Mega Death Rocket coming across, but not going to steal the Drake this time. They're just going to back away as, oh no. Okay, Spooky's looking for something. Mini Bjergsen knows it's happening. They're all trying to back away here. The blue team is really trying to press their advantage. The Cleaver's not going to land, but LeBlanc is looking for something. They definitely want to steal this blue buff here at least. Spooky looking for something that said, oh my god. That was like at least 10% of Mini Bjergsen's health right there from one Cleaver. But Usopp just sitting in the corner here looking for something. Going to find the knock up into the air onto Tristana. She's going to use the jump to get away. Shen does have both Teleport and Stand United available, but we'll have to see if... Ooh, Sniper Log coming and flashing over the wall, going to find Jinx. Jinx going to try to cut away as best she can, and she's going to get away. LeBlanc not going to be able to find the kill. Naruto Uzumaki rooted up, knocked into the air. Now the rest of the damage, let's see if it's there. That's going to be the Slicing Maelstrom and the Charm as well. Spooky coming in from the side, going to try to find the stun there, but it's not going to be enough. The Stand United has come across. The stun is going to be able to find, and that's going to be 2 kills for this team fight here. LeBlanc is now coming in. That's going to be the carry. She's looking for the damage here. She's already found 1. Can she find 2? She's rooted up the Seraphine. They're going to find a kill onto the Kayn, but now here comes the Tristana in from the side. That's going to be the kill onto Seraphine as well. Shen is the last person remaining. That's going to be the jump. They're going to be the auto attack. That's going to be the double kill for the Tristana. Jinx is the only one's left alive. She might have done just a little bit too far forward. Mini Bjergsen going to take a decent chunk of damage here, but there's not a lot of follow-up. Oh no! The Tristana bomb is going to be able to find the triple kill, and that's going to be the ace for MEY here, as they're now able to pressure this inhibitor and might be able to take it as well. And once again, this is the gold lead just kind of showing itself. They were able to find a couple good picks in the mid lane there, and the call was right. If they were up, they had a little bit more gold, a little bit more damage. If Jinx was there, especially with the Kraken Slayer, they would have been able to they would have been able to find that kill as well. So definitely very, very well played by them. It is going to be just very hard to contest really anything right now, especially being down 9,000 gold. They're still looking for something, and they might have found this fight just a little too early. AFK Shadow going to find a stun onto Naruto Uzumaki. The rest of the team is finding a little wall here. That's going to be the Shen zone coming down, and that's going to be flashes over the wall as Slicing Maelstrom is popped. Not a whole lot of things found just yet. Looks like they are going to pick up the blue buff here, but both teams are positioning around this Baron here. That is going to be where University of Alberta Gold is going to be averting their attention at this stage, especially since it gives them easy access to the mid lane, which already has super minions pushing in onto their base. It's something to keep their eye out for here. Both teams have slowed down here. It looks like they're just going to spend their time clearing out wards in their own jungle here. Very, very well played here by Merciless. Is exactly what they want to be doing. Once you have one lane that's already pushing in super minions, you can already start to pressure Baron and use that to their advantage. Use that kind of lane that's always going to be pushing in their favor to their advantage. Force a team fight that's going to be a 4v5. Already, that's going to be just... Ooh, yeah, Soren might have caught out Fat Mean here. He's going to put down the zone. Going to make himself immune to any sort of CC, but the Aftershock is already dealing a decent chunk of damage. Not a whole lot, but Mini Bjergsen is just going to immediately be found out by the LeBlanc here. That's going to be the taunt. That's going to be the charm. They're going to find Soren, but can they find Spooky? Debay is also there. Looks like they're going to try to get away here as best they can. Bet the Panda might have been stepping out a little bit too far forward, but it doesn't look like the rest of the blue team is able to collapse just yet. LeBlanc coming in from the side, so this might be yet another kill. Naruto Uzumaki in this bottom lane here. That's going to be the Thunderstorm coming down. That's a huge shield, because he still is holding on to that. Oh, he's also built a Zhonya's Hourglass. That's interesting to see. Naruto Uzumaki fighting Usopp here on the bot lane. It's the Shonen Jump matchup you've always been ready to, you've been waiting for. Usopp versus Naruto Uzumaki, but it looks like Naruto Uzumaki might be just a little too much bear, a little too much nine-tailed fox for this lonely himbo samurai to deal with, and he's going to go down in the bottom lane here as the blue team continues to push into this red team's base here. AFK Shadow coming in from the side here. Going to use the Proto Belt. There's the Slicing Maelstrom as well. Naruto Uzumaki has been snared, stunned, rooted. He's gone golden. He's going to get a shield for himself, but this might be a kill for the Jinx as AFK Shadow picks him a kill for himself. But when 3 people show in the bot side, that is going to be an immediate Baron call from the blue team, and that is huge. Mountain Soul is also on the table, but with that blue trinket, you're going to spot that the team is not on Dragon, but instead they are on Baron. And it's only going to hit on 4 members, but still very, 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 very well played by them. So this is going to be very, very interesting. We continue. Ooh, they're just roaming right across to the Dragon here, and this is going to be really huge. Okay. University of Alberta Gold does see this. They do know it's happening. They are down 10,000 gold, and they are down a Baron buff here, so this will be a fight to if they do anything, but that's not just going to immediately go over to them. 3 Mountain Drakes and the Mountain Soul in their favor. That's going to be more and more, just a more and more harder ladder to climb as they continue to hold onto this game for as much as they possibly can. This game looks pretty much over at this point. 9,000 gold now separates these 2 teams, a Baron buff and a Dragon Soul. It looks really, really hard for University of Alberta Gold to come back into this game. Merciless Esports Yaksha have pretty much solidified themselves a pretty almost insurmountable lead, and it will take a massive, massive throw from Merciless Esports Yaksha in order for Alberta Gold to come back into this game or even win it. That's going to be a flash hook from Soren. It's going to land onto a minion. So not exactly what they're looking for here. The inhibitor is finally going to respawn, as it looks like they're just going to try to close out the game here. Spooky is leading the charge. They do have 3 beefy members in front, 3 big meatballs rolling into this pretty squishy team in front of them. Kennen does have a couple of resistances to his name, but not the tankiest member of their team for sure. Kane still waiting on the side here, and they're just going to peel away and perhaps rotate towards bot side, but it's just inhibitor and get out for the blue team here. They're just going to walk up. Spooky doesn't even care about this turret. It's just going to take a whole bunch of damage. Just kind of walk up to it and just walk away. Again, just more and more focusing on this mid side here. LeBlanc is going to jump over the wall. That's a huge amount of damage on Usopp here. Now Nautilus is going to find Jinx, but he's now the only member across the wall here. Seraphine is going to get a huge ultimate here, but there's not a whole lot of damage to follow up. Actually, never mind that. Mini Bjergsen actually dealing a huge chunk of damage right here. Has already finding a kill for himself, but LeBlanc has found you, and that's going to be another kill going over to them. Bet the Panda is now going to be the next target, and that is going to be a 4-for-1 in favor of Merciless Esports Yaksha, and that might also be the game 1. Usopp coming in from the side here, going to try to do as much as he can in order to survive, in order to prolong this game for as long as he possibly can, but he's just going to dance around on the Summer's platform as a Nexus is taken down by Merciless Esports. Yaksha as they pick up game 1. Very, very well played by Merciless Esports Yaksha. And this is what we saw in their wins against TDMS. They're really, really good at playing from once they are ahead. They are really, really good at keeping that lead and cementing it. So we will see if they're able to keep this up in game 2. I don't really think that there's a whole lot of things that you can do. I think mostly I would try to focus more bans towards 420 sniper, as it seems like Alberta is not really comfortable in dealing with assassins like LeBlanc. So perhaps just seeing just a little bit more bans focused towards that mid lane there, and perhaps just like a lot more warding. Honestly, like there was a lot of times where University of Alberta Gold, if you looked across the scoreboards at the at both teams ward scores, MEY's ward scores was much higher, and we saw that pan out when Fat Meat, the Shen, was caught out just a bunch of times, just a little bit too far forward and not really being able to answer a lot of these dives from Volley Bear, from LeBlanc, even from Mundo as well. So we'll have to see some stuff cleaned up by University of Alberta Gold, and we'll have to see if Merciless Esports Yaksha is able to maintain their lead going into game 2. That does it for game 1 here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 2 we'll be back with game 2 of Merciless Esports Yaksha versus a University of Alberta Gold right after this. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Playoffs Season 6. We are in Bracket 8, Round 2. Merciless Esports Yaksha versus University of Alberta Gold. They have swapped sides. University of Alberta Gold is now on the blue side, and Merciless Esports Yaksha is now on the red. They are going into this 1-0. Merciless Esports Yaksha did just win Game 1 over University of Alberta Gold, and honestly, a bit of an upset. We did see, I did talk about how Alberta Gold was Seed 1 going into this tournament, has a bit higher ELO rating than Esports Yaksha going into this tournament as well. And now we just have this Game 1 already on the board, but we have seen flip-floppy games from Merciless Esports Yaksha in the past, especially in their previous game of the playoffs against TDMS. So it should be interesting to see so far. I mean, it is interesting to note that after bans, Zed is still available for Mr. 420 Sniper lol. The only thing that guy's missing from his name is the 69 and the more X's. But UAG going to first pick the Cannon here, and MEY going to immediately respond with the Nautilus. So picks are already starting to look almost similar from before. MEY picking up the Udyr instead of the Dr. Mundo this time, just a little bit more aggressive jungler. And this is already great because these are two pretty safe picks. You already have kind of like a bot lane sort of secured. It's just that, you know, Nautilus not exactly the highest counterpicked support out there, is pretty tanky. Like, you'd have to really outrange here. Okay, here comes the Kai'Sa from UAG here. Definitely interesting. Kai'Sa has received a bunch of nerfs. That's why a lot of folks definitely have not been playing Kai'Sa as of late, but still a good pickup to play with this Cannon here, especially as we get towards the mid game and that mid laner opens up. But this was kind of the same tune as we saw from the previous game. We saw a bunch of picks that were like, oh yeah, this is great if they're able to get off the ground and get into the mid parts of the game, but we'll have to see. Beth the Panda picking up the Nami over the Seraphine this time. Still a champion that they're pretty comfortable on. Beth the Panda does favor a lot of enchanters, plays a lot of Nami, plays a lot of Yumi. Seraphine is also in there as well, as I said from the previous game, but this should be more interesting stuff coming out from Beth this game as we do get into the last pick for MEY. I'm expecting oh wow, okay. Master Yi. Okay, interesting. So Master Yi, oh, wait, hold on. It's Jinx. Okay. So, turns out that Master Yi pick is actually a Jinx. So everyone, please remember, Master Yi's Jinx. So the bot lane for MEY has been picked here. It's going to be Jinx and Nautilus. I think that's a pretty good pickup here. Jinx does have really good follow-up from the Nautilus as the Chompers do become active just a little bit sooner. That was like one of the first buffs she received, and also just getting that little bit of extra... just a little bit of extra time. I'm sorry, the team is the team is apologizing to me in lobby chat. I'm just like, no, it's fine, just keep going, y'all are doing a great job. But that Master Yi is Jinx, but that's going to be a Quinn ban as well. Once again, a very targeted ban at the top laner, Naruto Uzumaki. They really don't want to deal with this Quinn here, and Silas is going to be the last champion banned away. I mean, it is a pretty good ban. You don't really want to play against the Silas, especially with a lot of valuable ultimates, but that does leave Volibear on the table. MEY already showing just a pretty strong game. Naruto Uzumaki played that Volibear really well last game, and if it's open, they're going to take it. This does also take Camille, Shen, Jax, and Pantheon off the table for Fat Meat here. So he does not have a whole lot of options in order to fully answer this Volibear here. Gnar is still a champion that's on the table. Zoe going to be very quickly locked in. And Xin Zhao is going to be hovered. And that's going to be really interesting. Xin Zhao did receive a bunch of buffs in this current patch as well. Oh man, they're doing it to me again. They did it to me again. They're killing me. Zoe is actually Kayn. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's okay. So that's Zoe. That's Zoe's Kane. The Master Yi is Jinx. He's Squidward. You're Squidward. You're Squidward. I'm Squidward. Are there any other Squidwards I should know about? Meow. Ornn is going to be the final lock-in for UAG, as Victor is the final lock-in for MEY here, and certainly an interesting team composition has come out here for both teams, as both are just very, very interesting for sure. Nautilus and Jinx, a very, very strong bot lane in my opinion, definitely a little bit more powerful since Jinx got a little bit better buffs to her attack speed with her rockets, and the Chompers buff as well as the base health buff. So a little bit easier early game from her means that Nautilus's level 2s and level 3s aren't going to be as bad and are a little bit more impactful, especially against a Kai'Sa and a Nami. Once again, this is just two team comps that want to be getting into this mid game. Both of them picking a lot of very scaling champions. Once again, Ornn, Kai'Sa, Kennen being picked up for UAG here. 3 champions that need a bunch of items. And Kayn as well. Kayn, once again, being picked up for Usopp here. This is a team that almost entirely wants to scale. And, you know, usually you want to pick something a little bit better early to help your team scale into that late game. But they've gone full hand. They put all the eggs into one basket. You know, it's almost Easter. I mean, if you're going to go around Easter egg hunting, you have to put all your eggs in one basket, I guess. So maximize your Cadbury cream eggs by putting all those by finding all the eggs you possibly can and putting them into one basket. That's what UAG has done here. And MEY on the other hand, picking another scaling comp, but I think I like this Volibear and this Udyr, especially this Nautilus as well, to kind of help and facilitate this kind of early game and make sure that it's going into their favor. Udyr, very strong jungler, has been nerfed a few times, but is still shown to be a very, very powerful pick, regardless of the nerfs that he's been getting. Didn't really see any sort of nerfs for himself in the most recent patch, but you know, it should be good that Phase Rush is still very powerful on him, as well as the Turbo Chem Tank, which should give him just a little bit better, which still gives him very, very powerful mobility, which means that the common strategy of getting away from Udyr is not exactly the best strategy or anything you can really do for sure. Still, I really like University of Alberta Gold's team comp. Big fan. I think that's more of a look at all these cool buttons they get to press, more so than like a comprehensive kind of team comp. Once again, I am hesitant to give University of Alberta Gold the advantage here, just because of their previous game. They weren't able to get off the ground, and because of that, they stumbled, they fell, and then they just dragged across the track a little bit. I'll say they stumble, they fell, and then they ate S-word. If you could fill that in for yourself. Not the best of game ones for University of Alberta Gold. I mean, they picked a scaling comp and weren't able to hit their stride kind of at all. So if Merciless Esports Yaksha just continues their kind of dominant performance from game one, continues that tempo, then it's going to be really hard for University of Alberta Gold to really get ahead here. But I think that once they do get ahead, it's very hard to stop them. It's Kai'Sa is very good ahead. Kennen, Ornn is very good ahead as well, and Kayn just being another champion that once they're ahead, it's going to be very hard to stop them down. But MEY, again, I said this a couple times already, but Udyr, Volibear, and Nautilus just being 3 big meatballs to stand in front and just kind of facilitate this early game, control the tempo of the early game so that they can go forward into this later game ahead of UAG and make sure that they can't get so they can't hit their stride. But that that is going to be it for us about here at Champion Select. We are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to be on the Summoner's Rift for Game 2 of Merciless Esports Yaksha versus University of Alberta Gold. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Style Esports right after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Style Esports Season 6 playoffs. I want to talk more about these teams, but it looks like we have an invade early on. Soren looking for a hook onto Kennen here, but not being able to find it. They're going to walk around and look for some wards maybe on this red buff. Looks like all teams are just going to back away here. Is the blue side just kind of... All right. They're just going to back away, but now we have time. We have a little bit of time. University of Alberta Gold is on the blue side. Merciless Esports Yaksha is on the red. We are in bracket 8, round 2 of the Season 6 Style Esports playoffs. And both these teams, we're in game 2. Merciless Esports Yaksha were able to win game 1. And based on standings and history alone, this was looking like to be an upset. Merciless Esports Yaksha was the 4th seed to come into this tournament, and also a lower ELO rating for University in comparison to University of Alberta Gold, who was the 1st seed to come into this game. They had a bit of an easy round 1, Alberta, but it looks like they're having a harder round 2, as now they're going to have to win this game in order to bring to a game 3. Pretty standard starts across the board. Nothing too out of the ordinary in terms of runes. Looks like everything's pretty much standard fare, as we're going to see probably more and more of these two teams going at it, especially since both of them want to be scaling into the late game. So this mid game is going to be very, very important for both of them. As Fatme taking a whole bunch of damage from Naruto Uzumaki here. Boruto's dad just dealing a whole lot of damage in this top lane here. Beth the Panda also on a comfort pick in the bottom lane. This is another enchanter in their pocket. So it's going to be very useful, but that's going to be the level 2 from the red team here. That's going to dive immediately onto Mini, but Yerkson is going to be rooted up by the choppers here. That's going to be the exhaust coming down onto Debay. He's going to flash forward underneath turret, but he's going to take a huge chunk of damage onto Soren here, and he's going to try to turn around as best they can, but that's going to be a huge amount of damage onto the blue team bot side here. Force Mini Bjergsen to back away here. He also popped his heal as well. So 2 summoner spells were spent for blue side, and also Mini Bjergsen just losing so much XP and gold so early on. He's down now nearly 10 CS. He's not even level 2 yet. This is going to be a huge, huge lead for the red side bot lane this early on. Are now going to reset here and pick up a couple of goodies for themselves. It's not anything too, nothing too much to write home about as of yet in that bot side, but it's still very, very important to note that it should just be Jinx just having that little bit of an early lead way before Kai'Sa. And if you are the Kai'Sa player, you really don't want to see a hyper carry like Jinx scaling faster than you are. Fat Meat looking for a little bit of the trade on to Naruto Uzumaki here. Usopp coming in from the side. They're going to deal a decent chunk of damage. He's going to flash away from the clap. That's going to be Kennen also stunning up, and now Spooky is coming in from the side. Fat Meat is real low. That's going to be the flash slap. Here comes the teleport in from Kennen. But will it be too late? They're going to find the slow. They'll find the stun as well. That might be it. Spooky trying to turn around as best he can, but that's not going to be enough. That's going to be first blood for Kane in the top lane. And already we're seeing just a little bit of better, more proactive plays from University of Alberta Gold here. It also means that Kane just gets a little bit of time to just kind of roam around in this jungle, try to pick up as many red stacks as he can in order to get that transformation online quicker than he did in game 1, which is definitely one of the reasons why they were not able to put it together. But Usopp roaming in through the mid lane against a Victor, I wouldn't exactly recommend that. You can heal pretty much real well on Kane, but I don't know if you need to take that unnecessary damage if you don't have to. Here comes Spooky in from the side here. He was not spied out by any wards. Now Beth the Panda might not be the target. Nautilus is not looking for the snare here, but here comes teleport in. That's gonna be Ornn coming in now. Here's Volley Bear as well. He's gonna use his headbutt to get away, but Beth the Panda is a little too far forward as Debay picks up the passive proc. He's gonna use this little bit of movement speed in order to find that next kill. And that's going to be given over to Spooky in the jungle as a 2 for 0 in the bot lane, and multiple teleports were spent. Already a pretty great start from University of Alberta Gold. A little bit shaky there, and that's mostly from not being able to get that priority in the bot lane in order to control vision of the jungle. And that's really why you shouldn't be pushing up if you don't have that priority, if you don't have that vision. You know, it's going to make it very, very scary for you to even try to make pushes like that. They were pushed so far up, they didn't have wards in the jungle, and they got immediately punished for it. And that's exactly what you want to be doing if you are the red side. If you know that there's no vision and there is a wave pushing in their favor, that's a very easy gank for you, especially if you're Udyr, who just all he needs to do is just right click. Looks like all the lanes have reset here. Kayn still continuing to try to get ahead here. He does have a kill to his name, so that does mean that he's caught up in terms of gold. I believe he might be just a little bit. Yeah, he's down like 7 gold. That's nothing to write home. That's nothing. I don't think there's anything in this game that gives you that much gold. I think it's like all the mini Krugs, I think, give you that much gold in order to like make themselves truly even. But Kayn will have to spend a little bit of time in his opponent's jungle if he wants to shut down this Udyr here, who loves farming. Definitely a big farmer fan. Played a lot of Farmville back in the day, back in like 2011. Back when people were playing games on Facebook. Y'all remember that? I remember that. I remember Farmville. That's what Udyr's playing here. Here comes the hook in from Soren. A little too far forward, going to allow Beth to just kind of throw out some W, some harassment in response. But DeBang just does not care about that turret right there. He's just going to throw out as much harassment as he possibly can here. Kayn is now on the bottom side of the map, which means he can't really punish that Udyr for being in the top side. Udyr looking for Kayn in the jungle, probably trying to counter jungle as much as he can, but he's not going to be able to find it, so he's just going to get some timers for those jungle camps maybe, and be able to return just a little bit later when they respawn. Kayn looking to invade the jungle and maybe go towards the blue buff here, but he is spotted out by a bunch of wards, so I don't know if this is exactly what you want to be doing here. Udyr does see Kayn on the bottom side, and he does see his blue buff open, so he should go towards that right there. And okay, yeah, they're definitely spotting him out of here. So if a fight does break out over that blue buff, it is going to be relatively soon. Nautilus and Jinx are coming over now, and they might be able to pincer Kayn in the river here. Meanwhile, the top lane, that's just so much damage back and forth between Arto, Uzumaki, and Fat Meat. But I think Kayn was able to grab the Scuttle Crab. Yes, that is correct. So Scuttle Crab in his pocket. That's a decent chunk of gold. That's about 150. That's a real great chunk. That's a real big chunk of change for himself, especially with how much pressure the red team has put into the lanes here, making it very hard for Kayn to really find a decent gank. Usopp looking to come in from the side here. He is walking past a ward, so Debay and Soren will see it coming. He's just going to back away, and that's going to be the end of it, I think. Yeah, it looks like he's just roaming in towards the top lane, but this is the power of having all these very good wards very early on. If we take a look at the mini-map, look at how many wards have lit up the jungle on University of Alberta Gold's side. There's so many wards to know exactly where this Kayn is, to spot out his pathing, and to make sure that they always have eyes on him. He's a very slippery character, very sneaky. You're able to get some deep vision on the opponents to find out where he's going. Should be very beneficial for you. Usopp and Spooking might do a smite fight here. It looks like it's going over to the red team here. It's going to be picked up by Udyr. No one was able to steal. He was not able to steal it away, and he's just going to use that bear stance to run for his life. He's going to get away A-okay. Drake is now spawning in about a minute. Ooh, Soren's going in. He's going to get Root. That's going to be the Nami ultimate in response, but it doesn't look like Mini Bjergsen doesn't really have a whole lot to follow up on. He is still sitting on that Doran's Blade there, so not a whole lot of damage coming out from him just yet. That's just going to be a 1-for-0 in the bot lane for not a whole lot of return. Not a whole lot of summoners were spent. It looks like Jinx's Flash was spent, and Ignite was spent by Nautilus, but that's not really some huge things to worry about right now. We do see a bit of a lead swinging into Merciless Esports Yaksha's favor right now, and that means that they're going to have just a little bit of an easier time picking up this Drake. This Drake is a Cloud Drake, which means once again, Infernal or Mountain are on the table for the soul of this game, and for both of these comps that are looking to scale, both of those dragons are very good once again. Both these dragons want some base stats to go along with the percentages that they give, and once they're able to pick up the soul, it's a buff that is very hard to overcome, and a lot of the times ends games. Udyr is now already in position to get this dragon here. He's going to be spotted out by a blue team ward. There's not a whole lot of vision on the blue side to see where they are. There is a pink in the dragon pit, but that's going to be very quickly cleared. And now that whole part of the river is completely dark. They're going to have to face check into an Udyr and a Nautilus, which is not what you want to be doing here. Those two are very, very good at CCing you and and have some great follow-up damage as well. Usopp waiting in the wings here to try to maybe get a steal, but they're trying to zone him out as much as he can. He's going to get caught. Can he flash over the wall? That's going to be a great Nami bubble. He's going to flash over, and that's going to be a dragon for the red team and an escape for the blue. So not exactly what you want to be seeing, but it could have been worse. The Infernal Soul is now active. That's going to be the flash forward from Soren here. He's going to find the root on the Kaisa. There's going to be a decent chunk of follow-up damage as two teleports come in. Here's AFK's Shadow from the side. There's going to be a huge slicing Maelstrom. He's trying to back away now as the rest of the red team is now trying to collapse. DeBay has gotten the get excited, and Spooky is now throwing down Shelly to try to tank down the turret. As 4 members are down in this bottom lane, they might look to dive as Bet the Panda just gets immediately annihilated by Magic User here, and now they are going to look maybe for more. Victor trying to zone out as much as he can, try to scare off the blue team as they are now taking down this bot turret for the first turret of the game, and that is gigantic. Okay, so I'm just having a little bit of technical issues on my end. Alrighty. Hold on. I'm having a little bit of technical issues on my end. Just give me a second, and I should just be back in this game to cast. But it looks like nothing truly impactful has come in here. We have a couple roams from Soren. We have a little bit of stuff on the top lane, but I should be able to get back into the game really quickly. I'm so sorry. There have been some spectator issues with League of Legends recently, and I'm having just a little bit of trouble right now. If I can just really quickly sync up with my observer here. I'm at 13:10 right now. As you see Naruto Uzumaki diving onto underneath Usopp here. He's going to use his ultimate to try to dodge away from the volley ultimate. Here comes the Ornhorn coming in from the side. He's going to be knocked into the air, but he does have a blast cone available to him. He's going to use that to get over the wall. Usopp cannot follow any further. Meanwhile, the blue team is going to be caught out once again in this bottom lane here. That's going to be Mini Bjergsen dashing over the wall to try to get away. That's going to be the Chaos Storm coming down from Victor to try to find the kill, but it's not going to be enough. They're just going to back away. Okay, Shadow is now by himself in the mid lane here, and once again, we see about a 2,000 gold, 2.6k gold lead separate these two teams. Is now, oh, all right. Now it's going to be AFK Shadow caught up on the side here. That's going to be the Gale Force dashing forward and going to find an easy kill. And that's just going to be probably the mid lane turret as well. And this is going to be, once again, Merciless Esports Yaksha putting themselves in a position where they are very, very, very well to win. Naruto Uzumaki going to get shielded up, going to try to find a kill into Usopp, but this time it's the Wandering Samurai from One Piece who's going to be able to find the kill over Naruto Uzumaki, Boruto's dad. As they are going to continue to back away here, but all these lanes are continuing to be pressuring. Mini Bjergsen in the bot lane here, just not really being able to press Magic User as he continues to press forward his lead here. But this is a lot of what Merciless Esports Yaksha is good at doing. They're very, very good at playing when they're already ahead. And they already have a really, really good lead to their name. They're playing characters that are good if they are able to get ahead early. AFK Shadow coming in from the side. That's going to be the Proto Belt. That's going to be the dash. That's going to be the Slicing Maelstrom as well. He's stunned up underneath the ultimate. He's going to try to get the turnaround. But Beth the Panda is going to be the one that's picking up the kill here. Kill secured for the Nami here. And yeesh. Yeesh, yeesh, yeesh. You hate to see it. Usually you want it to go over to your mid laner or your AD carry there. But you know what? Kill secured is kill secured. So that's going to be one kill closer to you know what? I actually want to mention this, and it's a little bit of insider knowledge. But I heard that Beth the Panda, that if they win this series, they're promised a McGriddle. And honestly, with a McGriddle on the line, I would have stolen that kill too. McGriddles are great. If you ever want everything you've wanted in a breakfast in one sandwich, that's delicious. Put some syrup on that, even better. Blue team is already here for this Infernal Drake, but that Victor just does so much damage. They're gonna have to try to zone that away as best they can here. And here comes, that's going to be the depth charge, going to knock that mean into the air. But the red team is going to pick up the Infernal Drake. Here comes the Ornhorn across the team. Let's see if they're able to pick up some kills here. That's going to knock Jinx into the air. Now Kai'Sa's diving into the side, but it's going to meet Victor. Forced to run away here. Fat Meat is now in between three members of the red team here. As Minnie Bjergsen is immediately going to be taken down. DeBay is now excited. Let's see if we can find the follow-up kill onto Beth. The Panda is going to be able to find it. And now Kennen is the target here. He's not going to be able to catch up just yet. That hamster is way too fast. And he's going to get away. And what started off as really great for the University of Alberta Gold is now just very quickly fell to the wayside. And that's the difference between these two teams at this stage. That's the gold difference kind of showing itself. Victor, all he needed to do was just stand in the backside, only really poke in, and we would have been doing his job perfectly. And if we take a look, Usopp still isn't transformed. 17 minutes into this game, we're still not seeing a red or a blue Kayn. And that is huge. That's a huge amount of power on the table that is just not being utilized here. AFK Shadow found a Q onto Spooky, but doesn't look like he's able to follow anything up really. Kai'Sa picking up a Kraken Slayer for herself, and Imperial Ordnance being picked up for Nami. Very good pickup. And the Sunfire Aegis being picked up for Ornn here. It did get buffed in the most recent patch, so it is a little bit more powerful. And once Ornn hits level 13, should be that much more powerful. But the problem is, they're already so far behind. They're behind in CS across the board. They are behind in kills. They're behind in gold. They're behind in turrets. They're behind in dragons. There's a lot of things that University of Alberta Gold needs to do in order to get back into this game. AFK Shadow flashing forward. Gonna get the Slicing Maelstrom onto the Jinx here, and that's a huge shutdown. Magic User now caught between Usopp. He's going to immediately get in, but gets stunned up. Fat Meat is now coming in as well. He's gonna use the ultimate. Magic User taken incredibly low, but that's gonna be Spooky finding the punish here. They're not gonna be able to find the shutdown, but here comes Volibear in from the side. Spooky is now fighting both Naruto Uzumaki and Spooky are fighting Fat Meat in the side here, but they are just going to back away, as that is a 1-for-2 in favor of University of Alberta Gold, as I once again get another spectator issue. Oh no, we're back in the game. 1832, 1833, 1834, and Kennen is going to go down to the Ignite, as meanwhile that's going to be the Thunderstorm coming in from Volibear that's going to be unstoppable from Ornn. Beth is going to try to get away as fast as she can. You want that McGriddle, don't you, Beth? It doesn't look like she wants it as much as, it doesn't look like they want it as much as they could. Now Fat Meat caught between a rock and a hard place, going to try to back, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. That's going to be what started as a 1-for-2 turned into a 4-for-2 in favor of the Merciless Esports Yaksha, and that is really, I hate to see it. And that is going to be the Rift Herald popped on this inner mid turret as Merciless Esports Yaksha continues their domination of this game here. And it's just going to be really hard to come back from this position. University of Alberta Gold have a huge hill to climb. About a little less than 7k gold now separates these two teams at 19 and a half minutes. It is now going to be a lot harder to get back into this game. Once again, Merciless Esports Yaksha, very good team at playing while they are ahead. And they've been ahead in both of these games pretty early on as well. Baron Nashor is now being pinged for a couple as it is almost spawning into the rift here, and that might be a target for them. They are pretty far ahead and have some good champions to kill with. Oh, looks like Usopp has gone for blue Kayn here, and he's going to try to get onto DeBay here, but Soren punishes so hard. Mini Bjergsen looking for the kill on the magic user, going to use the ultimate as well. That's going to be the E, slowing him down just a little bit from Nami. That's going to be the tidal wave, but it's not going to land on the magic user, and he's just going to stand in the Chaos Storm, not going to really help out too much, as the rest of the team is like, hey, we have 2 important players in the bot lane. Let's start up this Baron. AFK Shadow's going to try to contest, but he is just there by himself, 1 versus 4. That's going to be the knock up into the air against magic user that they were looking for. That's going to be a great bubble, as now they are starting up the Baron. It's already at half health now. Cannon in from the side. He does have Slicing Maelstrom available. Naruto Uzumaki trying to scare him off as much as he can. Going to use the Proto Belt to back away. But this might be the Baron for the blue team here. Kane is coming as fast as he can. But, yeah, it doesn't look like he's there in time. That's going to be a 4-member Baron buff. It's time for the Baron power play, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be just more and more. Yeah, it's just at this point, it's University of Alberta Gold are looking for whatever keeps them into this game, because they are now down a Baron buff, and oh yeah, they're contesting Soul Point once again. Spooky is already here. He's coming in for the side. The rest of the red team is here. That's going to be the flash. That's going to be the depth charge. Usopp is fighting the dragon. That's going to be the Slicing Maelstrom. Going to try to keep the dragon off, the jungler off the dragon, but it's not enough. They're going to pick up the huge dragon for themselves. Spooky now looking for the kill on a Mini Bjergsen. Mini Bjergsen flashes away. Here comes the bear slap. That's a huge amount of burst damage right off the bat. The Phoenix stance comes in. Oh no! Mini Bjergsen tries to get away, but he walks right into Debay, who's now excited. Now Beth the panda is the next target. She's taken so much damage. There's the bear slap. There's the ace. Jinx is going to pick up another kill for themselves, and with this Baron buff and the Infernal Dragon Soul, this might be the game as well. Oh man, this is a game. Certainly coming into this, I did not expect Merciless Esports Yaksha to actually play this well. I talked about in pre-game 1 that they were kind of flip-floppy in game 1, that they in their game against TDMS they were the lower elo and lower seed coming into this tournament, but now they are really proving themselves a very, very strong team. AFK Shadow now coming in from the side here. There's going to be the Orin Horn coming across. They're going to get 3 members brittled. They're going to be able to find the kill on the Sorin here. So the rest of the team is backing away. Okay, here comes the Super Mega Death Rocket. Is it going to be able to find anyone here? That's going to be the teleport from Ornn. They're trying to cut off and stop the backs here for some reason. They really, really want this fight. Ornn is coming in for the side. Magic User is now the target. That's going to be the Proto Belts as well, but AFK Shadow gets immediately deleted. So much was spent for that kill on a Magic User, and that's going to be another member without Baron buff. But Naruto Uzumaki, Boruto's dad, he's back in the top lane. He's back in the top lane. I believe he teleported up there as well, and he's just going to use that Baron buff to the best of his ability, just punching this. He's just punching it. That's really funny. All right, here comes Usopp. He's looking for the kill here, but that is going to be a blue cane kill ultimate against a very tanky Naruto Uzumaki here. They're not going to be able to find the kills. Debay is coming in for the side here. That's going to get them away. And they're just going to continue this kind of split push strat here. I mean, they have super minions pushing in from mid. They have, oh, that's going to be Victor teleporting in towards mid here. Interesting. Usopp coming in from the side. He might have found Magic User here, or maybe Magic User found Usopp. That's so much damage already. That's going to be the Gravity Well. Going to be find the stun onto AFK Shadow, and that's, oh my gosh, so much burst damage. This is going to be a Nami Tidal Wave as well, but they're going to be able to back away. That hits no one. That's going to be the Ornn dashing in. Magic User's taking a bunch of damage, but now Mini Bjergsen is the target against Spooky here, who is taken incredibly low. He's going to use the Bear Stance to try to get away as fast as he can. Here comes the Ornn Horn. Can they get the knockup? They're going to be able to find it. Can they get the follow-up as the rest of the red team is continuing to push into their base? It's so hard to come back from this position, and they're devoting so much time to fighting this Udyr that they're not seeing more inhibitors being taken in the middle of their base. It's going to be Depth Charge going to thrown onto AFK Shadow here. He's taking so much damage. Immediately he goes down. Debay kiting out Usopp so quickly here, and is immediately going to go down. Fat Meat and Mini Bjergsen and Beth the Panda are now the last thing that stands between Esports Yaksha and the base, but that's going to be the Volleybear ultimate turning off those two turrets. They're finally back on, and Naruto Uzumaki is the one tanking the turrets. Fat Meat is the only one alive. Can he get the kill? Naruto Uzumaki is going to go golden. Debay is now here. The knockup is going to find onto Naruto Uzumaki. He's doing so much to stay alive, but that's going to be the lightning. Volleybear is going to be able to find the kill. The last blue turret is going to go down, and that's going to be GG. Merciless Esports Yaksha is going to be able to find the easy 2-0 win over 2 quick games against University of Alberta Gold. Very, very good games played by both teams here. Merciless Esports Yaksha taking an upset, in my opinion, over University of Alberta Gold. We took a look at kind of like their stats going into this game, and you know, we saw the 2 team comps in University of Alberta Gold were able to draft, and I for certain thought that, you know, this was a team that drafted two comps that were very, very easy, pretty easy to execute, as well as very cohesive. But the problem is that they needed to get ahead fairly early. They needed to scale into the late game. The problem with that was Merciless Esports Yaksha were able to get an early lead, and they're very, very good at playing from ahead. And once they were ahead, they were able to snowball into a victory. And, you know, we talked about University of Alberta Gold, and they were like the first seed for this tournament. Their average rank for their team is just a little bit higher. Their elo going into this game was just a little bit higher. They were and they had a much better game against their opponents in round 1 in comparison to Merciless Esports Yaksha. There was a 2-0 versus a 2-1. Very, very well played by them, but University of Alberta Gold, that is going to be their playoff run for Season 6. They're going to have to pack their bags. They're going to have to go home as Merciless Esports Yaksha continues on, and they have their finals coming up. I mean, if we take a look at the bracket here for bracket 8, they do need to go up against the winner of I Don't Know versus Inquisition, whereas Alberta Gold goes up against the loser of that match to try to contest for 3rd place. But that does it for us here at Style Esports. Thank you all so much for joining us here today, and from myself, my producer Lil Pony, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And make sure, if you haven't already, to press that follow button, and if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button to Style Esports. We have League of Legends pretty much every day, and if you like League of Legends, if you like watching coordinated team play, this is the place to see it. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We'll see you at the next match. Thank you all. See you later. Bye-bye.